my name is Ashley Scher. I'm the founder and CEO of ShareLove.Fund. Today we are in week 23 of our yoga teacher training. I'm going to just turn on this beautiful salt lamp that one of our graduates, and it's one of our Teach for a Cause teachers, has given us. You can see the amazing work of Cleo Byrne, who kindly gave us this salt lamp as a gratitude gift and also as a birthday present for me. Thank you, Cleo. But you can see her amazing Teach for a Cause work by clicking on the RYT 300 playlist. She painstakingly created over 200 videos for the RYT 300, and it's really just a gift of love, so we're super grateful for her work. Let us get started with this RYT 200. So it is week 23. Each week we offer a pose of the week, except in our review weeks, which occur on week 2, 12, 22. You'll see a pattern, 32, 42, and 52. Every week ending in a 2 is a review week, but this week is not ending in a 2, week 23. So that means that you get to learn a new pose today. The pose of this week is tree pose. So we will warm up and get into that, but it's a balancing pose. And balancing poses can be great for focusing your mind and building core strength. So we'll work it up into that. Just to keep both sides symmetrical, we can just kind of do a little tree on the other side. But please take a comfortable seated position, and based on student feedback, people just really wanted to stretch and create space where they didn't feel space. Some students talked about shoulder pain and back pain, and while nothing here can be construed as medical advice, we can do something to loosen that up. So let's just start and breathe together. You can take a few breaths in and out, and just really try to find the natural rhythm of your breath. Remember that your own natural breath is a breath technique. Just take a few minutes to breathe. I'm going to walk around the room a little bit. And use these minutes of silence as a chance to draw inward. Continuing to breathe in and out. Try to expand your exhale to be up to 2 parts longer than your inhale. Having a longer exhale has been shown to have relaxing impacts on the nervous system, getting us out of that fight or flight feeling. Inhaling and exhaling, expanding the lung capacity by lengthening the inhales, and then lengthening the exhales, trying to get the exhales to be twice as long as the inhales, but not forced. Definitely don't get lightheaded. Listen to your own natural limits, but to the extent it's comfortable, expand the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Trying to really connect the inhale and the exhale as if it's a circle with no start and no end. A continuous breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling at your own natural rhythm. Doing this allows the body to slow down, get out of fight or flight, and sort of accept that we're in a yoga class, that there's nowhere else to be, and that right now you've dedicated this time just to be present. Now let's add some movement to this. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, lean forward. Just let the whole back drop, just totally releasing. If it feels better to have the heels of the soles of your feet together, feel free to do that. And while you're here, you can walk the hands to one side and just feel the stretch. Stretching can be a little boring and it just takes time. So we're just going to give this some time. If this does not feel like a stretch to you, then you can sort of modify to get a little deeper into it. But the idea is that we're trying to stretch the back side of our body, opening up our hips, all the way from our fingers, even through our thighs. You'll feel the stretch in the point that is tightest. And just breathe into it. Letting the neck fall, you can shake the head yes, shake the head no, and just let it fall. Walking the hands to the center, you can take a few breaths here. Just letting the shoulders fall. And then walking the hands to the other side. Feeling again the stretch on this whole side body. You can rainbow the arm up and over. And it's a little boring, but we're just going to be here because this is where the length happens, by holding poses. You can ask yourself, what am I holding on to? What if I just let it go? Shaking out the head, no and yes, and just stretching and letting it go. Where you feel tightest, you can use your breath. And imagine your breath as a bubble expanding that area. If you feel tension in your shoulders, then kind of readjust. The idea is that you're completely just relaxed. You can walk the hands again forward, and this time sort of like shimmy the fingers out. Try to really elongate. Elongate and then drop the shoulders into relax. Fully relaxing the back of the neck, just trying to gain space in the back of the neck and the shoulders. Not holding yourself up in any way, just letting your hips fall open, your back curve, and your back of your neck elongate, but in a relaxed position. Just where it naturally falls, there may be a curvature in your neck and spine, and that's fine. You're just totally letting go. You're not holding yourself up in any way. If your forehead rests on your toes, that's great. And if it doesn't, you're just letting it fall as if it could rest on its toes. Paying attention, do you feel the tightness in your lower back, or your upper back, or your hips? And remembering to breathe into it. You can slowly walk your hands up, and we'll rainbow our arms from side to side. So as you know, ShareLove.Fund was founded in 2020 in response to COVID as a way to provide free vocational training for incarcerated women. Rainbow pose is one of my favorite poses to teach in our videos for custodial women. It's not an official pose of the Share method, but I love it because I always say that whatever your day is like or whatever is going on, you can always paint a rainbow in your environment by just doing rainbow arms. And it's a release, and you can do it in a chair. You can probably do it in transit or in the office. It's a pose that's available to you. And it sort of turns that frown upside down by just thinking of rainbow arms. So you can just think of painting a rainbow on the ceiling. It's also a heart opener in a sense because you're opening up, you're not hunched. And so by doing heart openers, we often feel a little more compassionate, and sensitive, giving. From rainbow arms, we'll lift our arms up and turn to the side. Do a little bit of a twist. Inhale the arms up again and turn to the side. We're going to continue with the spirit of stretching. By laying down, you can engage your core by slowly rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing the soles of your feet together, arms up, into cactus arms. And this is reclined goddess, which we will see in the future. But here, we can just use it as a stretch to really straighten out the back. Then engaging the core, you can lift the legs up, create a little heat by doing some upward dips. So let's do 20 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If your neck feels a little weak, you can put your arms behind it. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You can rest your head down. You can put your arms up ahead of you and then slowly bring your legs down. So why are we doing core if our pose of the week is tree pose? Because to balance, you really need to work the core. Let's lift one leg up and slowly bring it down, and the other leg up and slowly bring it down. Knees into chest, give yourself a little hug, and then you can put the soles of your feet together, slowly bring them up, and again together. Now let's work the obliques a little bit, and we'll go to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Bring the knees into chest. You can give yourself a little hug. And we'll stretch by putting our legs to the left side. Stretch out the opposite arm to the right side. Have your eyes follow that gaze, and you can just put your legs out in front of you. For a little deeper stretch, you can have one leg straight back, another leg out, or even a knee bent with an arm on it for pressure. So this twist is a great way to correct some of the irregularities of our daily posture. Peter, our lead trainer, calls it text neck. That's the tendency to slouch while we work or when we're a little stressed. And by having good posture is also a key component of balancing, which will help us in our peak pose of this week, tree pose, because we are naturally erect, two-legged beings. And so when our posture is properly stacked up, we don't fall over. You can think about it as Legos. If everything is locked in place in a perfectly straight tower, it's not going to fall. If you have some pieces on some sides or the other sides, and if it's not properly stacked, then it is less stable. So by stretching our spine to mitigate some of those poor posture habits we have by helping ourselves have better posture, we can set ourselves up for success in the poses. I'll spend another minute here just really thinking about twisting and lengthening. You can take a few breaths here to let yourself fall into this pose a little more. It takes time to stretch, so it may be a little boring, but that's where the results come. Remember to breathe. Really try to get the shoulder to the mat and the knee to the mat. If it is aspirational for you, you can focus on connectivity between the shoulder and the mat, and then over time your knee will get there. Give yourself a big hug in gratitude, and exhale and lean to the other side. I think I'm a little close to the wall, so I'm gonna shimmy over. We are filming live, so it's blips and bloopers and all. You can extend your both legs out and then try to have your shoulder down. If that is not enough of a stretch for you, then your bottom leg can be straight out. If you need a deeper stretch still, you can bend the top leg and then put a little pressure on with your hand. If you can't get your shoulder and knee on the mat, then focus on securing your shoulder to the mat and then let your knee naturally fall, and keep your gaze opposite your knee and just breathe into it. We're going to be here about 3 minutes because that's where the length comes in. So it's a little boring, but just draw inward, listen to your breath like we did in the beginning of class, and let your breath be your bridge. So you can interpret that how you want, but let your breath be your bridge. Spend another minute here just really using your breath to deepen into the stretch. Imagine you are twisting out your spine as if it were clothes that are wet that you're wringing out. Twists are supposed to be amazing for eliminating toxicity. And just breathe through it, thinking of this stretch as a cleansing stretch. With an inhale, you can bring your knees into chest. Give yourself a hug. Tuck your chin in, and then slowly roll your head back, trying to gain connection with your neck on the mat as much as possible. So imagine if you could kind of roll your skull up so your entire neck could connect with the mat. Depending on each of our anatomies, some people can actually kind of do that naturally. Some people like me have a big head, so I have a big ball in the back of my head, so that's not going to be so easy, but we can really just try to tuck in the chin and then try to roll the neck back vertebrae by vertebrae. At the same time, lengthen your sacrum and just try to imagine, what if your whole entire spine, from your skull to your tailbone, what if that all connected to your mat? If you have a little bit of a sway back, think about that, the center of the spine touching the mat. Now, note in anatomy, our spine is actually not straight. We have a curve outward around our shoulders and a curve inward around our lower back, the lumbar spine. So much of yoga is aspirational. So this is not about judging or evaluating your spine. It's just about when we think about lengthening and straightening our spine, we're able to get a release. So the real gem here is the release you get. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. We talk about aspirational goals like put your leg here and put your arm there, but it's not about put it here and there to look good. That is really irrelevant. We say put this here and there because when you do that, you'll experience a release, and that can have really positive effects by letting go of energy that's not serving you so that you can use your energy in more productive ways for work, for your family, or even to build strength in a pose. You can't really focus on the muscle building component when you feel so tight. So by not feeling tight, you can get your energy to work for you instead of getting your energy to work against you. Like all that holding on to tightness, that's kind of like your energy working against you in some ways. With a big inhale, you can push your feet up to the ceiling and slowly bring them down to build strength in the core. Hover a little bit and bring it all the way down. Walk your feet up and bring your feet to the width of the mat. And we're going to windshield wiper our legs to open up the hips a little bit. So bring one knee down to the mat and you may feel a stretch on the upper thigh. You can hold this here for a minute. You may feel a stretch in your knee. If this is not so much of a stretch or you want more, you can bring your arms up so that your shoulders are more open. You can have cactus arms. We'll just hold this for a minute, really stretching out the thigh. Maybe you might feel it in your knee. You might even feel it down to your ankle. Again, you're going to feel it where you're the most tight. To sort of make this a little harder, try to think about what we were talking about, connecting the spine to the mat. So try to have your whole back straight to the mat and then see how far this leg can go down. If you feel sharp shooting pain, that is not a stretch. That is a hint that an injury is happening. So definitely don't do anything with sharp shooting pain. How do you know the difference between when you're stretching and when you're experiencing sharp shooting pain or injury? A stretch is more of a dull feeling. If you're really not sure, you can do it on the other side, and generally when it is a stretchy feeling, it will feel pretty similar on each side. And generally when it's an injury, you don't feel it symmetrically, but here, let's keep working on this left side. So when the back is fully connected, you know, there's a little less flexibility in the leg. and you feel it in a little different spot. And then when you let the back lift up a little bit, you can get a little deeper stretch in the leg and knee in kind of a different spot. So you can kind of play around with that, rolling back and forward a little bit. We'll stay here another minute because the benefits of really elongating take time. It takes about 90 seconds in each pose for the body to say, oh, the heck with it. I'll just let you have your way with me. So that is why we hold the poses. The first 90 seconds, there's an impulse to kind of hold back. And then after 90 seconds, the ligaments have a little bit of fatigue and they succumb to the stretch, and that's where the elongation happens. You can get a little deeper into this by placing a foot on it. Reaching the arms up, 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 and then letting them fall back down. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the space between your brows, the forehead. Using your breath as the bridge. Whatever that may mean to you, but that is our food for thought for today, using your breath as the bridge. How can you use your breath to serve you? Inhale, bring the knees into chest, give yourself a hug again. Focusing on elongating the spine, bring the chin in to chest, legs up, and slowly we'll bring our legs down again. Giving a slight hover to increase our core strength, warming us up into our peak pose, tree pose, which we need core. Bringing our knees into chest again. Feet on each side of the mat. We'll take a little bridge pose, rolling the shoulders under, hands clasped, toes forward, hips up. This is a great palms together. This is a great stretch for getting some of those kinks out of the back. It also stretches the back of the neck. Slowly bring it down and slowly bring it up. Really popping up those hips. Slowly bring it down and slowly bring it up. This is a great way to build strength and also as a heart opener to open up the shoulders. Exhale, bringing it all down. And let's windshield wiper the legs on the other side. We'll do a couple windshield wipers. And we'll bring the left knee down. If you need a little more of an intense stretch, you can put a foot on it. You can have your arms up to sort of the opposite of what the legs do for goddess pose. Really thinking about connecting the spine with the mat, and so you can do that and not have your leg go down as far, or you can put some pressure on it. If you don't feel a stretch here, you can modify, maybe stretch more and try to reach up like this. You can play around with it so that your time is productive. And you can really think about using your breath as the bridge. Where do you want to go? And how can your breath take you there? Allow yourself to just succumb and fall into it. What are you holding on to? You're not going to fall, you're already on the ground. So what if you just let your body let go and just stretch, just lengthen, just release. With an inhale, you can bring your arms down to cactus arms. Inhaling the arms up, bring one arm across the side body, really stretching the shoulder. Inhale the arms up and bring the other arm across the side body, stretching the shoulder. Arms together, clasping the hands together. Stretch out the wrists a little bit and the fingers. Bringing it to one side and the other side. Shimmying one hand up, shimmying the other hand up. Really feeling that stretch in the fingers. Maybe you type a lot. Is one hand tighter than the other? Bringing both of our feet flat back down. Let's do the bridge pose again. Shimmy the shoulders under, clasp the hands together. Tilt the hips up. Now we're going to build a little strength by putting one leg up and bring it down and the other leg up. Bring it down. Bring it down and the other. Hold this for a minute and really breathe into it, thinking about what we talked about today, using your breath as the bridge, clasping the palms together. When you feel ready, you can slowly come down. Why slowly? Because that works the core. We'll give our knees a little hug. Give a stretch in Happy Baby. So in Happy Baby, we are trying to elongate the spine again, keeping from the sacrum all the way up through the neck, connected as much as possible to the mat. We'll do our little trick again of putting our hands behind the head, tucking the chin in, and bringing the head back down as a reminder to elongate the spine. You can grab hold of your heels to also stretch the forearms and arms. You can even rock side to side a little bit. Yoga should be fun and playful. So they say laughter is the best medicine. So you can play around a little bit with this as well. Inhale, straight legs. And you know what's coming. We're going to slowly bring this down as a way to engage the core, because core is great for bouncing. We'll hover for a minute, a second, a millisecond maybe. Bringing our feet back to the sides of the mat. We're going to now windshield wiper the legs, but this time we won't hold it, and we'll just have a little more fluidity. So for tree pose, it has one knee out. And so by loosening up the hips, we're really working our way up to our peak pose. All of these warm-ups have a purpose. And by warming up, we are preventing injury. So a lot goes into a pose. Yoga is something that can be really easy, or it can be more complicated when you start to take a really deep dive, looking at it all, how all the muscle groups are working together to support the skeletal system, and how the breath impacts the nervous system and has physiological benefits. From here, we'll put our toes up, put them down, put them up, put them down. Give ourselves a little hug again and rock up to half boat pose. This is also a really great core exercise. From here, we'll bring our feet down. How do you feel? Let's continue with a few seated twists. If you need to grab some water or hydrate, please feel free. So we're going to bring one leg over the other and try to really focus on having the sits bones both even. So if you can't get the leg all the way over, that's fine. But just sort of the first thing that we want to do is really make sure that we're evenly seated on the mat. So like both glutes are on the mat. So that is your starting point. Then to the extent that your glutes are on the mat, then try to cross over. If crossing over brings your glute up, then don't cross over so much. So so basically first, really drill the glutes into the mat, and then second, cross over to the extent it works for you. We'll just be here for a minute to really feel centered in this position. You might feel a stretch in your hips. You might not feel a stretch at all. This might be easy peasy for you. If it is easy peasy, use this as an opportunity to create stillness. You can ask yourself, how can I use my breath to be a bridge? Or if something else resonates with you, you can think about that. You can also just feel a sense of accomplishment if this does not feel like much for you. Know that it is actually quite an intense stretch for some people, and so you can feel good about that. And if it is an intense stretch for you, then you can honor yourself for putting in the work and doing the practice. And for those of you that it is an intense stretch, you're getting the benefit of a release. And for those of you that do not feel much of a stretch, you are practicing the hard work of stillness. Let's just take a few moments to internalize that. Thinking about having the posture be long, I can imagine a string on the top of your head pulling you up while something is pulling you down. You can also use this opportunity to give yourself a little foot massage. You don't need to be a massage expert. You can just kind of use your thumbs and break up the business there. Even without knowing what you're doing, you can still get some pressure point benefits. Increased circulation. And connectivity between the different parts of you. This is a time that you can really connect your mind, body, and soul. You can bring this bottom leg up to more of a right angle if you want a little deeper of a stretch. Inhale the arms up, and we'll do a twist. This is half Lord of the Fishes pose. You can look opposite. And take a few breaths here. Inhale the arms up, and we'll take a twist on the other side. Looking to the back of the room to really maximize the stretch. Elbow under the leg to really push it. And even stretch your eyes, like even stretch your peripheral vision by having your eyes look across the room. Relax your jaw. Come back, switch sides, and again, we're going to really focus on having our sits bones on the mat, and you can kind of see how each side feels, if it feels different or the same. And we'll just breathe with it. You can give yourself a little foot massage. If it doesn't feel like a stretch at all, then this is an opportunity to experience stillness. And if it does feel like a stretch, then you may be stretching your hips, and that is going to help you as we work our way into tree pose today, because tree pose is also a hip opener. You can think of our words for this class. Let your breath be a bridge, and what that may mean to you. Inhale the arms up. Bring the elbow behind the knee, and we'll do a twist, elongating the spine as if you had a string on top of your head, up and over. And even stretching your eyes to increase your peripheral vision. Arms up, and we'll stretch on the other side. Bringing the feet together, you can give yourself a little foot massage. As we say in our RCYT, the Registered Children's Yoga Teacher Training, we teach the kids to open up their feet like they're reading a book, like, oh, what's that book about? That's a really good story. So you can do that. We'll inhale, rest the arms forward, walk the arms to one side, walk the arms to the other side. And then when you're ready, come up to table, and we'll warm up the spine a little more in cat-cow. So using your breath as the bridge to get deeper into cat-cow, you can experiment with your inhale and your exhale as you warm up the spine. If it feels good to you, you can kind of push your hips out to one side, stretch your arms to the other, and do a little stretch here. Get a little deeper into it by straightening a leg out. And a little core by connecting your knee and your elbow. And we'll come back to cat-cow. Leaning forward and back. Fingers wide. Shifting the hips to the other side, stretching the arms out long and feeling the stretch on this side. Again, step the other leg back and just really getting a deeper stretch. Also engaging the core. Bringing in the opposite knee to the opposite elbow. And then warming up with a few more cat-cows. We can do around the world, as I like to call it, putting the hips all the way around. And all the way around on the other side to really get those nooks and crannies. Stretching the hip out on one side again, and we're just going to hold this a little bit because this is how we really get the length. Walking the hands over. We can do it on the other side. Coming back up to cat-cow. You can use this as an opportunity to roll the neck to one side, roll the neck to the other. Stretching out the spine. From here, we'll push up to down dog. And kind of pedal out the feet a little bit. We call this walking the dog. This is our first down dog, so kind of play around with it. Maybe lift your heels up. You can bend your knees a little bit to feel that long spine. And walk the dog a little bit, pedaling out the feet, maybe leaning to one side for a deeper stretch, or the other side. Engaging your core, jump the feet forward, exhale, and forward fold. In this forward fold, we can also kind of walk the dog a little bit, bending one knee and then the other. This can be a really good IT band stretch. Fingers underneath the feet, and let's just stretch. For those of you who get lightheaded or dizzy, you do not need to hold this so long. You can get the same benefits from a seated forward fold. For those of you where dizziness is not a problem, and where it's not a problem to be upside down, you get a little more of a benefit doing a standing forward fold because you have gravity working to elongate you. So because it takes time to gain elasticity in our ligaments, we're going to hold this for a while. Holding this for a while is not for everyone, so please feel free to make adjustments as you need. You can kind of shimmy the heels out to get a little more of a stretch. And again, we can bend one knee to get deeper on one side. Using the bridge as the breath. You can rock forward and rock back and kind of see how that changes things for you. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck. Bending the other knee. Isolating a side can help you get a little deeper. If you are super flexible and that's not doing much for you, then by all means, you don't need to isolate a side. Try to not restrict your breath. Try to use your breath in those hardest parts. Really call upon your breath to carry you through instead of restricting your breath. Walk your hands out in front of you. You can kind of play around with leaning forward or not. You can use a block or your shins. If you're up against a wall, you can use a wall to kind of walk back, but the idea is that we're really trying to stretch our hamstrings and trying to also stretch our hamstrings all the way through our lower back. And so by walking our hands forward, that's an opportunity to keep the lower back a little bit straighter and really get that hamstring stretch. And then you can exhale and let it fall again. Sweeping the hands as they may be. Just letting your body fall. Letting gravity do the work. Shaking your head no, shaking your head yes. From here, doing a half bend. Exhale, forward fold, and slowly rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, arms up to upward salute. And exhale, have them come down. So now we are all warmed up, our hips and everything. So now we're going to work on our peak pose. So tree, you can just start like this, toe taps. Or you can place that foot above the knee. I'm a little wobbly. You can pick a spot on the wall to look at, and it's really all about focus. Engaging the core, zip it up. You can bring the hands to heart center, which makes it a little bit easier to balance. Squeezing the glutes. Imagine this thigh pushing against this foot like opposites in war together when they're both really tight, and like this thigh is trying to push the foot and the foot is trying to push the thigh, then that actually really solidifies you and helps for balance. Remember to breathe. Tree pose. This can be great for focus and ADD. It's great for children as well to help improve focus. It's great for balance and core strength. It looks kind of cool too. One of my favorite yoga sayings is, you can't grow an oak tree by wishing it. You can't grow it faster by wishing it. Some things take time. So tree pose is a pose of patience. It reminds us that sometimes the things worthwhile are not going to come so fast. You can shake it out, and we'll do it on the other side to be symmetrical. So we'll have these, the foot and the thigh working against each other, really pushing each other strong. Hands to heart center. Remembering to breathe, zipping it up, engaging the core, engaging the glutes, tucking it under, pulling it up. Imagining a string from the top of the head, pulling forward. Remembering to smile. Nothing we do is so hard, and it's all meant to be fun. It's about the journey, not the final destination. Breathe through it. You may want to look at a spot on the wall or a fixed point. Converging your mind on your breath or a fixed point that you're looking at helps with balancing poses. So balancing poses are a way to quiet the mind. If you feel super stressed out and you have a million things all due yesterday, a balancing pose is a way to quiet the mind and gain control over that. Now let's see how this tree pose works in a flow. So let's do our sun salutation A, and then we'll work in our tree pose as a way to spice up our sun salutation A. As you may recall, our ShareLove.Fund's RPYT 200 was developed for incarcerated women during COVID at a time of isolation, so that anybody, regardless of ability, could earn a yoga teaching degree. We are not a method of how to do yoga, we're a method of how to provide vocational training to even illiterate people. Our method is based on repetition with no tests or quizzes. So this week is week 23. We're introducing tree pose. we're gonna spice up sun salutation A with tree pose. The next 8 weeks to week 31, we're going, or week, week 31, we're gonna just keep on adding one more pose until we have 9 poses more to spice up sun salutation A. Week 32, we will review all of it. That will be 27 poses. By the end of this, everyone will have mastered 45 key signature poses. That's not necessarily the best poses or the worst poses. It's just enough poses to become a confident yoga teacher. From those poses, you can learn nothing more and have a wonderful life as a great yoga teacher, or you can build upon that and learn more and do even more. So let's start with sun salutation A, and we're gonna spice it up with tree pose. Inhale, arms up to upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend, jump back to plank. From plank, we're going to, it's live, so I need a little bit of a cheat sheet here. Okay, from plank, we're going knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. From baby cobra, down dog. From down dog, we're gonna step our right knee in, step it forward through our legs. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. We're just spicing it up with other poses we've worked on before. From extended side angle, triangle. From triangle, we can come up, bring our feet forward, shimmy them in. Inhale, our arms up, and we'll go to tree pose. From tree pose, we'll shake it out, shimmy our legs out. Inhale, arms up, wide-legged straddle. Twisted wide-legged straddle on one side. Twisted wide-legged straddle on the other side. From here, we'll come to a lunge. Exhale, downward dog. From down dog, we're going to jump up to forward fold, half bend. Inhale all the way up, Tadasana. Let's do that sun salutation on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Jump it back to plank. From plank, knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. From baby cobra, down dog. Inhale, the left knee in. Step it forward. Inhale up. We'll do a review from our past weeks. Warrior 1. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Triangle. From triangle, we'll come up. We'll shimmy our legs in. And we will do tree on the other side, but I just need to kind of make sure. I think we did this side, so. Okay. It is not easy remembering the right and the left. I think that that's the hardest part of being a yoga teacher. Okay, engage the glutes, zip it up. It's a core exercise. And now we're in tree pose. Arms at heart center may make it a little easier. And remember to breathe. Shake it out. Shimmy the feet out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Stretch on one side. Stretch on the other side. From here, bring the arms around to low lunge. From low lunge, step it back to down dog. Jump it forward. Forward fold. Half bend, forward fold, arms all the way up, and you just successfully spice up your sun salutation A with tree pose. We're going to end with a Savasana. Please feel free to get a blanket, water, whatever you need. Come down to corpse pose. You can have your heels rolled out to the side of the mat. If you're cold, grab a hoodie or blanket. You can have your hands on your body or to the sides of you. I'm going to help set up, and please take these moments to relax and connect with your breath. In Savasana, it's an opportunity to really feel your spine connecting with the whole mat. Allow your breath to get deeper and steady. You can think about our words for today of let your breath be the bridge and what that may mean for you. This is not a time to work on the breath, it's just a time to let the breath be natural. So the toes can roll out. You can have the hands to each side. If you want a little more of a heart opener, you can use, you don't need a fancy bolster or anything. You can use a towel or anything to just kind of be in the center of the spine to sort of force the back to open up, the shoulders to open up. So this is a way to make the center of the spine higher than the shoulders, so naturally the shoulders have to fall outward. So that really reduces this inwardness that we have when we type. So if that feels good, you can do that. You can reach the arms up, stretch, 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 and down. If it feels good, you can put a mask or something over your eyes, or you can turn off the lights. Oops. It's live, so blips and bloopers and all. The idea is that for tree pose, we had one leg out, and that is a hip stretch. So if we do this in Savasana with both of our feet together as a goddess pose, and then our arms in cactus is a goddess pose, then we are actually continuing to set ourselves up for success in tree by allowing our hips to roll out and gain that hip flexibility so that we can have that right angle turnout in tree pose. To relax your face and jaw and the area between your brows, you can give yourself a little self-massage if that feels good. Just maybe around the temples a little bit. And just gently part your lips. I'll be silent for a little bit, and this is an opportunity for you to internalize your experience while gaining increased flexibility in your hips and in your upper back and shoulders through this supported reclined goddess. It's called supported because we have the bolster, and it's reclined goddess because goddess pose is like this, standing up, and reclined goddess is like this. If you feel that the stillness is contrived and that you're not comfortable being still, feel free to make minor adjustments. The benefits of stillness is a surrender. Tensing up to force yourself to be still is just creating tension. So the idea is to approach stillness with curiosity. You could think of trying out stillness, poking at it, taking a peek at it, stepping into it, but not forcing it. It's an experience, it's not really a result. If the stillness is uncomfortable, or regardless, you can bring your attention back to your breath. Thinking of your breath as nourishment, inhaling light and love and all that serves you, and exhaling all that doesn't serve you. When you feel ready, you can bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little hug for self-love. You can bring your knees to the right or left side. Inhale, arm up and over, and slowly at your own pace, take your time so you don't feel lightheaded. You can come up to a comfortable seated position. Here, just take a few breaths, taking note of how do you feel. Making any observations about sensations you may feel in your body. By putting our palms down, we're drawing attention to connect with ourselves. Reminding that each one of us is our own pillar of strength. And that you always have you, your whole entire life. No one can take you away from you. And so you always have this pillar of strength to draw upon. And may your yoga practice or the other endeavors that you choose in your life be a source of strength for you. With that, I will conclude this class. Namaste. May the light in me be the light in you. Thank you so much for your time today. For those of you who are not already enrolled in our RYT 200, please sign up on Teachable. You can visit us on our website to sign up, ShareLove.Fund/train. When you purchase one of our courses, you are investing in yourself, but you are also sponsoring a course for an at-risk youth or woman to get the same degree for a full scholarship. So that is an awesome way to purchase for a purpose. You can also do what I do, which is teach for a cause. It is an excellent way to gain exposure as a yoga teacher and to gain more experience. So we are a registered 501c3 that is IRS verified. All donations are tax deductible to the fullest extent of US law, including gifts in kind, which includes the gift of your time as a teacher. So teaching can be a tax write-off to the fullest extent of the law. Nothing here shall be construed as medical advice or legal advice, but it's an awesome, awesome experience. To teach for a cause, you can email yoga@ShareLove.Fund. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Namaste.